All right.
Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I am Roderick Daly. I am your host for today. I'm joining me, the executive producers on air, filling in until our co-hostess gets here, or you might just be filling in all night, right? It is indeed a pleasure, right?
Mm.
Looking forward to talking to each one of you, seeing what's going on. And what's going on out there, where we're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, at any point, starting from today. Andre, the school year is winding down. How's that going?
So, man, it's quite interesting because I have eighth graders, so it's like trying to get them to kind of finish up in a little thing is also complex because they get pulled for the rehearsals, the dinners, the trips, all that stuff. So I have to be mindful of that. But I mean, it's going smooth. I feel like a lot of progress been made and looking to go into the summer with a lot of working towards more growth. So yeah. How's the remainder of the year coming? School day.
Oh man, it's just very busy, very very busy.
I know you're not busy though.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, yeah, hold on one second. Right, it's so busy. You have all of these different things culminating in the year. You have the community board elections. I'm up again for re-election. This is my last term. Like, at the community board, you spend 2-year terms.
Mm.
I have that. I have some violent issues going on in our community. Rezoning, that's a citywide problem and a universal problem. The expensive rent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Working on baseball, the kids. I just came back from Jamaica actually, so it's a weekend. I went to eat some mangoes.
It's just the mango season right now, man. I remember. Well, probably y'all remember a little bit more, but even growing up in Jamaica, we used to throw a stone off of the tree. Put a stone in the mango, them. We stand up under the tree, wait for the mango coming in, and he catch it all summer. All summer, just throwing stone off a mango tree.
When you grow up, you begin to remember, certain parts of your life.
Yeah.
You start remembering your childhood, and you're impressed with it, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, this is so crazy.
and it's interesting too because sometime I when I'm talking to my students, like when students would do something crazy or just irrational, and you just have to stop sometime and be like, wow. And I would even remember like second grade, third grade, you have a lunchtime, and you could literally come off a school campus. I remember coming off a school campus plenty of times. I go buy my lunch, playing our playtime, come back in school, and you were there. Like you didn't leave and like go home or anything like that. You know that you had to make sure you come back at second grade, third grade. You had to come back. I look at some of the young people today, and I'm like, not even couldn't leave. Can't leave in fourth grade, fifth grade. You're not able to leave. And that's also possibly because of the rise of just worry and violence and all those things. You know.
I think you're right, but I want, before you even respond, I just want to say shout out to our villagers out there. And yeah, I know my villagers. You hit me up on Facebook, you hit me up on WhatsApp, you hit me up on the street telling me that you're watching, so I appreciate it, though you might not comment on the air. Although I tell you, we're a live show, so we love full participation from our listeners. So just even if you just say hi, right? Even if you just say hi in the process. I was supposed to do something, so hopefully Jennifer doesn't join me in a few minutes and curse me, because I did discuss it, but I didn't follow up. So I'm going to follow up right now so that Jennifer, before she gets on air, she doesn't trust me. Right. But you're right. So because unfortunately, and I want to lead with that, actually. I want to lead with safety, right? I want to lead with some safety concerns. Recently, in the community that I represent, right, a young lady was shot and killed. Not shot, she wasn't killed. My apologies, she was not killed. Let me not scare the world. But she was shot. 84-year-old woman was shot in Brooklyn, right? And she was out in one of the areas in our community. 84 years old.
Damn.
You could only imagine, but think about that, Andre. What an 84-year-old woman is not about violence, right? It's not about anything related to anything. She's a peaceful, praying woman.
Right.
And she was shot. Granted, the injury wasn't life-threatening. However, the reality of the situation was that, what is crime coming to? You had a woman that was stabbed in the Bronx, I believe it was. Right? Was stabbed in the Bronx. As she was walking on the street. You have a 12-year-old that killed a 14-year-old.
12-year-old killing a 14-year-old.
A 12-year-old killing a 14-year-old. The stabbing in schools. So I want to start with that. What is society coming to? You can't survive society.
You can't, you say?
When you can't survive society, what is it coming to?
What does that mean? So what is society coming to when you can't survive
because
society?
At the end of the day, what I'm saying by that is you expected to be born, live old, and die. Right? The natural progression of life. And you want to die, all of us want to die a natural death. Right? And when there's no regard for life. No regard for life. What do you do?
Man, it's easy to say that you just live, right? And a couple things come to mind. Living each day like it's your last, and really push toward legacy, because you never know what can happen. Make sure that you're thankful, you practice goodness, having faith. Whatever your um, religious or belief system is, you practice those things. You try to be good to everyone you come across, um, because at any moment, you know, heaven could be calling. Um, but understanding that at any moment, that could be the last. You just have to really live and live to the fullest, because you never know. Um, I think, I think even with whatever may happen, as a result of other people, we are really responsible for ourselves, right? And for those who are not yet able responsible for themselves, like the youth who you might be taking care of, a young person. But that's really what comes to mind. It's like going back to very, very centuries ago, in a sense, wherein the survival of the fittest aspect comes in, right? So you do what you can, being a good Samaritan, help others, and you live.
Yeah, I always say to people, it's funny. There are things that I say,
Mm,
right? There are things that I say when in conversation. One of them is, you got it good here. You got it good here on earth once you're living.
mhm,
At the worst, you still got it good. Because a dead man tells no tales.
mhm,
I've never heard a dead man come back and tell me what anything was like. Right? We have to believe as Christians, or of Christian value, that if we do good and be good, we will be able to be brought up or caught up. If you're Christian, to meet God.
mhm.
If you're Jew, to be your Yahweh. If you're Muslim, to be with Allah, and so forth and so forth.
Right. Whatever religious beliefs that you
Right.
have, you practice.
Right. And my responsibility is not to talk about any one religious
Yeah.
belief. And I make no qualms about the fact that I'm a Christian. I have Christian values.
Hmm.
But the fact that all religions teach good, what's going on? When you
I
really
think
think about it, what's going on?
I think one of the things that I've come across, even just in my younger days coming up, is the clash with religions, right? And so, and Bob Marley coming to mind, because there's a lot of things, a lot of quotes that he has put out there, in a sense, really. And one of them, in a sense, highlighting how man creates religion, right? But we have different faiths. And so, like you suggested, each religion, they preach this aspect of being good, and you also have the bad apples in those religions too. And so the things that are highlighted on one end may be as a result of a group on the other side. And so it's like, um acknowledging and just being respectful of people's beliefs, because I've heard, and I'm speaking because I'm coming from a Christian household, so I'm speaking from a Christian perspective and what I notice in the sphere of Christianity. I've heard Christians say that their God is the God, and the same way that a Christian might say that, it's the same way someone from another religion is saying the same thing. And so it's just, there's no real way for either to say to prove whose God is the true God, right? And I think this is where understanding and compassion comes in. In fact, to go a step further, dive into someone else's cultural practice to understand what their cultural practice is about. You'll quickly realize that, whether it's the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, you quickly realize there's so many similarities. Um, Even the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you like them do unto you.
Yeah,
It's
even in mythology, actually,
right,
Greek and Roman mythology.
right. So I think, having your belief and having your faith is one thing, and you go by it. But it doesn't mean you try to say someone else's faith is not as valued, because it's valuable to them, right? Valuable to them. It's what guide their upbringing just as much as our own faith guides our upbringing. So I always look at it from the angle just like, be thankful, pray. It's like you meditating, um, and you follow guiding principles, right?
Yeah,
The-
absolutely. And it's like, I believe, my understanding, and again, I don't practice any of the other religions,
Mhm.
but I study.
Right.
I study a lot of the religions and to talk about what needs to happen, right? But all religions teach
Right.
the like you said, like, what do you teach? You teach the importance. You teach the importance of faith, right? You teach the importance of believing in who you are and the likes.
Yeah.
So I think that we as a people need to come to that understanding that you're not supposed to just speak it, but you're also supposed to live it.
Right.
Right. And a lot of people speak faith. While I was in Jamaica, I was talking to a few people, and one of the conversation I brought up was Jamaicans are known for several things, right? And Jamaica is a microcosm of the real world, right? Jamaica is a microcosm of the real world, which is that the belief in God
Mm-hmm.
strongly supersedes the belief in anything else. And that's important, right? So that's an important part of the conversation. But the next step is Jamaica is also known for the most per capita
Mm-hmm.
churches in the world, but also is one of the most violent countries in the world.
And it brings up the question then, like, how are those things operating together at such a high degree in the world, in a sense, really? Because your belief in this higher power is so powerful, but the violence is there. And I think now it comes on, and I don't want to make this like absolute truth, because I'm just thinking of tribalism in a sense. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna go to church, I'm gonna pray, thankful and everything, but if you hurt my people over this side right there, so I'm gonna come for you, right? And it's like, and this idea of like, I can pray and my sins are forgiven, like this, I think mindsets like that goes through a lot of people's mind, in a sense. Like, I've heard people talk about, man, I'm a party it up on Saturday, do all these crazy things, and then I'm gonna go Sunday and pray for
And
forgiveness.
pray it out. Karen wrote, when there's a regard to democracy and constitution, the times that we're living in, everything righteous is an evil. Is evil. Everything righteous. I guess what she's saying, everything righteous is evil, and is good in society. I need to delve a little bit more into that. I don't think democracy and constitution develops evil. I think dictatorship tells you what to worship, who to worship, how to worship, and I would persecute you if you don't do what is the preferred. So if you live in an Islamic state, then you must practice Islam. If you live in a Jewish state, you must practice Judaism and Catholic, so I'm not sure if I'm agreeing or understanding what you're trying to say. So maybe you can develop that a little bit more. What time is your guest scheduled to be on?
Now. So unless you want to go commercial and then I'll bring them up.
All right. Before we do that, I just want to talk about next week, Wednesday. All right. June 19th.
Juneteenth.
Right. Is Juneteenth. It's a big holiday. Became a national holiday under Joe Biden. But it was, started out with a lot of conversation with our co-host, John Sampson, who was in the state Senate, that he brought, a young lady brought it to him, and he will give you the story if he is able to get on to tell you the story about Juneteenth and how that came about. And, here in New York City, and the fight to make Juneteenth a holiday. And Juneteenth, is also recognized, Andre, by a lot of other culture, right? A lot of other cultures who deal with Juneteenth. And our guest tonight will have something on Juneteenth, and hopefully is able to talk about why he chose that date. So let's bring on a commercial, and then next you'll see our guest. Welcome, Dr. Bryant. How are you doing?
Great. Good evening, everyone.
And welcome.
All right.
Wait, before we go on, what were you doing today?
Well, I was just getting my son ready for the prom. He's off to the prom.
This man.
Yeah, Andre, please tell Dr. Bryant why you're laughing.
No, because it's just how you do it. You're like, wait. What were you doing today? Like,
yeah, like, and then she comes off it like, be excited, yo. Your son is
just randomly out of the blue, like,
right. And she's like, oh, it's no big deal. Of course, it's a big deal. Your firstborn is going to his prom. Like, you didn't even send no pictures, no nothing. You're not excited. Andre, you know what? Forget it. Let's take us to commercial.
I'm banned from sharing pictures because he don't want it on Facebook or Instagram or
I don't want it. I don't want to hear it, but you put it on the media. I don't want to hear it. Andre, commercial.
Okay.
Footprints Cafes now offers Caribbean flatbreads, available in 11 mouth-watering flavors, including favorites like jerk chicken, curry chicken, honey garlic chicken or shrimp, ackee and saltfish, garlic cheese, and more. Our flatbreads are satisfying and can be enjoyed by the entire family. So make it a flatbread night at Footprints and enjoy the fusion of flavors. These flatbreads are so good, you might just have to fight for that last piece. Good thing there's plenty more where that came from. Get yours today from any of our Footprints locations. Want to enjoy your flatbread at home? Then order on Uber Eats and get it delivered right to your door. We'll see you there.
Call Howard Housing Solution today for all your real estate needs. Sellers, we can get top dollar for your home, and our vast network of professionals can facilitate your move and help you purchase your dream home in another state. Buyers, we have a pulse on the market and can get you in a home quickly. Property owners, we can manage your property efficiently and allow you peace of mind. So why wait? Call Howard Housing Solutions today at 646-825-5560 for your sale, purchase, or property management needs. Conveniently located in East New York, Brooklyn. You can come to us at 577 New Lots Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, or we can visit in the comfort of your home. Call Howard's Housing Solutions today at 646-825-5560. Howard Housing Solutions. Real estate simplified.
Want to get your personal income tax, business corporate tax, self-employment tax, quarterly tax, payroll tax, or sales tax filing done professionally?
Yeah.
Call U.S. Barrett LLC 718-676-0519 and take the worry out of your personal and business life. Tax compliance issues should be left to the pros. So when you want your business to grow, call the pros, because a successful business matters. US Beer LLC also handles accounting, bookkeeping, business startups, consultation, real estate, and many more services. Call US Beer LLC 718-676-0519 and ask for Howard DaCosta, CEO, to book a 1-hour evaluation at no cost to you. Take remote control of all your needs, and US Beer LLC will follow your lead. Want to work but don't have a social security number? Yes! Find out about getting a tax ID to pay your taxes. Call US Beer LLC or log on to www.usbeer.com. Team up for success.
Welcome. Let's bring our guest on. Hello, Mr. Rudy Shaw. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. It's such a pleasure to be on your show. I checked it out a couple of times, sidelines, and so it's a pleasure to be on with you and Andrea and Dr. Bryant.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So the couple of things that are going on, let's Dr. Bryant, what's your favorite question again? I'm sorry.
Please. Welcome to our show, first of all. And please let our listeners know a little about you. Just share who you are. Yes.
It's hard for me to say a little about me. I'm very.
Oh, okay.
But I try to condense it. I am from Guyana originally. In the time I was born, it was British Guyana. And I guess you more or less, I went through school. I studied for the GC. I topped the country for free education. It's one of the things I brag about because I didn't have the books. But I went to a friend's house and read her books while she was doing something. I tend to mention that to let people know where there's a will, there's a way.
That is true.
And I was among the first Black actors in the Theatre Guild of British Guyana. How I got involved, I had a best friend that everywhere he went, I went. So he was invited to audition because we sang in the national choir. So I ended up going to audition and I got cast in a lead role. And I was nearly kicked out by the choreographer because she said, I was 10 years old at the time. And she said, he can't dance, he can't do the ballet movements. Don't you have somebody else for the role? And the director said, but he could sure act. So whatever he could do, you let him do. And that was a boost. I always remember that because it's like when somebody's trying to pull you down, you could always get somebody else to help you up. And that's important. And, I studied acting there. I used to go to workshops 3 times a week for like 4 years. And I was ducked from the Best Actor Award because I was Black. It was always to go to the white actor. So the racism stuff was from since then. And, I came to New York and I studied with the Negro Ensemble Company. I studied theater at Queens College. And I started auditioning. And my first acting gig in movies was in Warriors. I was one of the riffs. And I was in the famous beach scene, you see. And other things. So, I'll take your whole year talking. So,
But you know what? I love what you said. When people try to put you down, like the Bible says, your gift will make room for you. And that's what happened.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you. I actually got the Pioneer in Theater Award from Adelco in 2015. And that was a great honor for me at Symphony Space to be given the award as a pioneer. I guess you're getting older. This year's a pioneer. But I was among the first Black extras on the soap operas. Was it As the World Turns? Yes. We used to call it As the Stomach Turns at the time. But they wanted to get Black actors on. Then I got I did day player roles on Edge Night, All My Children, stuff like that. I played a Jamaican on All My Children. I played the Undertaker.
Wait. Can we hear what your Guyanese Jamaican accent sound like?
No, you can. That's the way I want the man. I always remember this line from the Bob Marley movie I saw the other day. They said, I don't know who takes it, dude.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I'm glad we're glad to have you on board. Especially this is Caribbean Heritage Month, right?
Yes.
Right here in New York, and so I want you to dispel: is Guyana Caribbean, West Indian, or South American? What? Tell us what.
All of the above. All of the above. You got to realize the name West Indies was given to the whole region, and basically because of the heritage of slavery, and so we were called West Indian because of the culture, because we had the same culture background as people in Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados, and so on. But the cricket team was always British Guiana and the West Indies, and I used to wonder about that growing up as a child. While there's segregation, but I guess it was to reinforce that British Guiana is in South America, and the West Indies is the islands. But it's all nomenclature. We're all one people, and the South American thing is just again geography. I look at us as a people, and our culture is based from Africa. Yes, there are snippets from other areas, but we are African people, and we need to embrace that. And I really don't think kindly when people try to impose other cultures on us. Not that we should not know what the Chinese do, what the Indians do, but we need to know what our people do. And it's the reason why I work a lot in South Africa with the Mud and Fire Parables Theater, and we do a play on Steve Biko, which I co-wrote with my colleague in South Africa called Biko Rising. And when I embarked on that, it was called Steve Who Biko, because when you say Steve Biko, people always ask who. And it was. I just got onto that because I was speaking with a South African, and I said, "Look, I'm looking for a play about South Africa," and he said, "Well, do something on Steve Biko." I said, "I know there's a movie." And he said, "Brother, write your own." I said, "What's there to write? I don't know anything." And he went to the library, and I bought the book. I Write What I Like, and I read it and reread it many times. And it just how, as you said, how things go there, God will find a way. And I got a call from the Queen's Library asking me to come and do something, and they're going to give me a couple of dollars. And I said, I have this book. Let me do some pieces, some of the monologues from it. And so I call it Steve Who Biko. And people came out, and then they sent me to 2 other libraries. And I remember once it was a snowy night, and the place was jam-packed. Mm-hmm. And I was, wow, they really, And then, make a long story short, I got on to Mandela Mbothwe in South Africa through another colleague. And I went to South Africa, which I'd worked in South Africa before, because I used to work for the UN.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I can't hear. He's muted for me. You're muted. Rudy, you're muted. You pressed your mute on your thing. Rudy,
you're muted.
Can he not hear us?
You're muted.
No.
I think he hears now. Yeah, we can't hear you.
All somehow right. The mute thing came on.
I didn't touch it. Rewind. Rewind now.
I'm sorry. Thank you. But the show was sold out. Jam-packed crowd outside the Castillo Theater on 42nd Street. And I had to be a little apologetic to the audience that I had to hire some actors to just read the script with me. But they loved it. And so we're trying to get the actors to come back for next year, Black History Month in February.
So wait,
I kind of stray when I'm talking. So
Costello just took place just this
No, I'm not hearing you.
Oh. The Costello. Can you hear me now?
I'm not hearing you.
Huh.
I can't hear you either.
Andre, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
and I'm not muted.
Huh. Now you're muted.
I'm not hearing you.
All right.
Yeah. Can you hear Andre?
He can't hear us at all.
Okay.
So
Call me on the phone. I'm not hearing you at all.
Okay.
all right, let me call him.
While we are assessing that, yes, David, Michael, good afternoon. Yeah, we know your birthday is a national holiday. Yes, we know. Yeah, he's gonna call you, right? We know your birthday has now become a national holiday. How you ever gonna make us forget that Juneteenth is a holiday? So we have the 15th, 17th, and 19th. We are fully aware, right? Bryant is having a birthday on
Saturday.
On Saturday. I was trying to think of what date it was.
So I'll log out and log back in, right?
Okay.
Commercial. Okay.
Right. So Dr. Bryant is having her 35th birthday on Friday, on Saturday. What are you doing for your 35th birthday, Dr. Bryant? And God, please don't strike me for lightning, with lightning for lying, but I don't know. Ask me now.
I think, we're going to go and hang out. We're going to go and hang out as a family. The next day, we're going to go to the Chris Brown concert.
Who's we?
My sister, my daughter, a couple of friends.
So why was
Father's Day, we're going to go. And I've always been a Father's Day gal. So
my question is, I didn't get an invitation.
What, to Chris Brown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Couldn't afford it, but you could at least,
Okay. It was a gift. So
it was a gift. And whose birthday is on Monday?
John, our co-host.
Oh, his birthday's on Monday too.
Yeah.
So yours is the 15th.
Yep, he's after me.
And my son King's birthday was Monday, so he's
happy belated birthday, King.
Right.
All right, we got Geminis all around.
And then I always tell the story of his mother and one of her best friends, and his mother had 5, would say, childhood friends, and in 2012, when King was born, they both were due at the end of July. Both of them were due at the end of July.
July. King was born in June. The end of May, you mean, right?
Tell a story, woman.
Okay.
Sure. So on June 9th, I'm in the backyard playing dominoes. Garcia comes out with her big belly. And she's like, Roderick, I'm in pain. I'm like, are you okay? You having contractions? What's up? She's like, I'm in pain, right? And I'm playing dominoes.
Oh, Lord.
And she's like, Roderick, I'm in pain. I'm like, oh, all right, guys, gotta go. Let me rush her to the hospital. So I rushed the guys off from the backyard, rushed her to the hospital. Lo and behold, in the morning, they do an emergency section. Grayson's born, right? While we're in the hospital, because, C-section is stay a little longer in the hospital. And by the way, I recommend North Shore LIJ, right? Recommend.
You're muted now.
Yeah, I know. So I go to North Shore LIJ. She comes out of surgery. Lo and behold, her bosom buddy, who's due in July, calls up and go, I'm at the hospital. I'm in labor. I'm like, yo, she's what? Says, yeah. But I thought she was due in July. She's like, no, well, she's in labor right now. So the two of them had children a month early, right? So his birthday is June 12th. So happy birthday to Connor, right? I know it's kind of cool. Also, happy birthday to my niece, Chevy. Her birthday was Saturday. And happy birthday, Dr. Bryant. Happy birthday, John. And happy birthday, David Michael.
Hey, David Michael. Happy birthday.
Yes, and your birthday's on Juneteenth, and you don't have to brag that your birthday is has become a national holiday.
Oh, I love it.
right? And yeah, mine might be one day, but not post my existence. But that's all right. Right? That was cool.
Might change.
So, so Jamaica,
And
right?
this
So I would,
year,
yeah.
city is celebrating it. They recognized it maybe 2 years ago, but making it
the country made it a national holiday about 2 years ago.
okay. Yeah.
So
This is-
now, like everybody recognized Juneteenth, and a lot of Juneteenth event. And when Rudy gets back, he talk about his Juneteenth event. To do that, there's a lot of things happening this month.
Wait, yes. He mentioned one important thing that started last week, which was cricket.
Yes,
New York.
Yeah, New York City has.
Yes, it ended yesterday.
Stadium
India.
in Long Island.
India won, but this is awesome.
Who won?
India.
India won.
Beat
Yeah.
the United States. It beat who else did they go against? It wasn't Pakistan. Yeah, it was. So India is leading the force, my friend.
Yeah. Well, we don't want India to lead the force. We want the West Indies to be the lead, but we're not going to say that out loud. We don't want to be biased or anything like that.
But
are there any Asian players on the West Indian cricket team that you know of?
No, not at all.
Is cricket a sport in Haiti?
No, soccer. Soccer.
Just soccer?
Yeah, soccer is big for Haiti.
I guess like most Caribbean countries that don't play, they don't play basketball. So basketball is not a big sport. It's now grown a little bit in the Caribbean diaspora, but track and field and football are
But
big.
it's nice that they recognize this
Yeah.
during the month of June, the end of May, going into June, and Nassau County housed it because originally they were going to do it in Harlem, but was it the Bronx? I think it was the Bronx, and they were gung-ho, absolutely not. But Nassau was more than happy to say, hey, come on over.
Yeah.
And guess what? Great turnout. Thank you, Star Girl. Great turnout. And I'm excited that people came from all over just to celebrate and to participate in cricket. It became a big thing in New York.
Hey, Star Girl, we don't want to wish her no happy birthday.
Thank
We
you,
weren't invited to the party. So,
Thank you so much.
right? We're not gonna invite her to nothing. We're not wishing her no happy birthday. We weren't invited to anything at all. So
How do you get upset when I get a
yeah.
How do you get upset with that?
I'm not upset. I'm just like, you didn't invite us to your party, right? You're going to go see Chris Brown.
I didn't have a party. Yeah, but that's on Father's Day. That's not even on my birthday. On my birthday, I would love to have a party, but
you didn't. Okay, you having a party on Father's Day, you didn't invite me. Seriously, right?
Listen.
I mean, like, and then you blurted out, "Y'all having a father." Star Girl, we were not invited to her birthday party on Father's Day, so not exactly sure why we celebrating her for.
Lord, the hate is real, Andre. The hate is real.
Right.
My God.
That may be that the hate is. You could call it whatever you want. You could call it whatever you want. Right.
Just thanking God for another year. So that is
well. Yeah. You know what? I'm not even thanking God for another year. I'm thanking God for another day. But for you,
absolutely.
And by the way, you look radiant. By the way, radiant for your birthday.
Thank you so much.
But not to be a hater, but happy birthday to you, right? Happy birthday to all those people that we just mentioned, but especially to you because, like I said, you look very good on your 35th birthday for the 12th time.
Wow. You said celebrate 35 12 times.
Yes,
really, Roger. But okay, all right. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah. So.
Thank you, Karen.
Karen, by the way, Karen is not a Gemini. She's a Libra, right? So
you know what? You hate on your two co-hosts who are Gemini. I don't get it.
Andre and I, it's funny. Andre said Sophia is September,
Mm-hmm.
and then Andre and I are both January.
Yeah.
But he's of the worst sign in January. He has to be more of the Aquarius sign. Aquarius is the best sign ever.
What does that mean?
Oh my
Andre, you heard that? You heard that, Andre?
What does that mean?
No, I'm just saying we were born in the best month. That's all I said.
No, you heard the hate, right?
Yeah. We both January, but the hate there, man.
You know, yeah, I told you I have two family members born the same day as Andre. Right? Andre and Andrew. They're both Capricorn. And Ian is 2 days before. But
There's a bunch of Januaries, man, because even TK is January. My mom is the day before me. Like
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
literally
but
yesterday, and I'm today.
yeah, the fact is TK is the best.
And my grandma is January too.
Right.
Wow.
Right. TK is but the best part of January. Andrew, did you hear that Dr. Bryant's having a birthday party on Saturday, Sunday, and we weren't invited? Or maybe you were and I wasn't.
I'm hearing.
Right. You were,
Yeah.
and I wasn't invited. It wouldn't be the first time that other people were invited. You notice I invited y'all to whatever I was doing, which was nothing. but I
Aruba,
invited you.
right? To Aruba, right? During the snow time. You're right. You're
Actually,
right.
Aruba was nice and warm.
Star Girl agree. Aquarius.
There
is
you
the
go.
best sign. Okay.
Actually,
don't
it's
even
funny.
matter to me.
I know it's funny. Aquarius, I said this before. Aquarius is one of the shortest signs of all of the 12 zodiac signs. They created a 13th one, which is extremely short as well, to change the almanac and the dates. It's like 13 or 14 days. I forgot what the 13th zodiac sign was, but if you avoid the 13 and just look at the 12, Aquarius is actually the shortest. Like it's from January 22nd to like February 18th. And it has one of the largest number of people. And I always say to people, count back 9 months and you get April, right? April is a rainy season. So, people stay inside in the rain.
And that's when you all were conceived. Okay.
Yeah. April, March, end of March, those kind of things. It works. And June is
September.
September. So new beginning. The fall, right? Well, not a new beginning. The spring is a new beginning. The fall is when people start the process of hibernating again.
It's funny because like my daughter is born on the same day as my dad. So they're July babies, same day and everything.
Say your grandfather, her grandfather was very excited.
Oh yeah.
About that.
Being
Right.
born on his birthday, absolutely.
But
But then guess what? When you're born on the same day as your grandparents or parent or whatever,
anybody in your family, close knit in your family, you're screwed.
somebody get forgotten.
You're
The
screwed.
youngest one.
Like I have twins, right? So they're born on the same day. So they get
December's, right?
Yeah,
December.
December. They get less gifts, right? And then my cousin, she's born the day before Christmas.
No, forget it. My aunt is born the day after Christmas. Forget it.
You get one gift. Call it a day. And why? You need to give me two, but I can't afford two, so I give you one.
So sorry to kind of cut in. So what do y'all think about, well, John was mentioning it to me. New York is about to make high school diplomas worse than useless.
Well, I think I was actually talking about that. Not about the useless component of the high school diploma.
I didn't say that. That was an article he read. So quote unquote,
The article is titled. That's the title of the article.
Okay.
Yeah, it says like it's going to become more. It's an article in the New York Post that came out that talked about how New York is moving to making diplomas more spoken, more watered down than it already is.
That was a discussion with the state about the Regents exam not being no longer being required to graduate for high school graduation, and that it'll be used as an assessment. So it wasn't just an article, it has been a discussion. It's something that's going into play, and just looking at different avenues for graduation.
So, Mike, New York State is one of, I think, New York State and California
Mhm.
are one of two states who have state requirements for graduation.
Mhm. Different states. Pennsylvania has a different requirement too. So each
Right,
state have
but
their own different little requirement to graduate.
right, most states have a comprehensive exam in that subject that will make them viable for you to graduate. So when I went to school in Massachusetts, we didn't have regents. So they didn't even recognize regents. They didn't even know what regents were.
Mhm.
A lot of private schools don't recognize regents because it
So a lot
doesn't.
of private schools don't take state assessment.
Right.
They usually
Look at your transcript, right? The SUNY system and the CUNY system understand what an advanced regents diploma is and what a regents diploma is. If you're going to SUNY and CUNY,
mhm.
right? But other schools look at your overall transcript. What does that look like? What have you done in school? What courses you have taken? Did you challenge yourself or did you survive with mediocrity? Right? What does that look like? So it depends, right? What is the rigor that's going to go into the conversation? Yeah, right. And if there's no rigor, then are we just looking at straight numbers? And New York City is notorious for focusing on numbers, on quantity, not quality of the students who are graduating. And I can say that because I'm retired.
I guess I can't say nothing about that then.
You can say from your, I think you guys can talk from your own personal perspective. Do you think, like you, Dr. Bryant, you have a son
Mhm.
who's graduating high school, right?
Mhm.
Do you believe that your child can compete with somebody like me, right? And I don't consider myself very smart in terms of the raw base knowledge that I learned. When I graduated high school, I graduated with calculus, right? I did A, B, and BC, and I did, constitutional law. I did English. I did physics. I did chemistry. I did bio.
That's not a requirement anymore.
Right. That's the point of what I'm saying. Right. That's
Mhm.
what I'm bringing up. I'm not talking about me being intelligent, right? Because I don't look at myself as intelligent.
Right.
But I look at myself as saying I was offered these things, and I see Eddie Gentile, who was my principal, was my teacher, right? We focused on writing, we focused on speaking and reading, and what kids needed to learn, right? And not on testing, right? So
Are we going to be competitive enough against?
well, that's the question that I'm
Yeah.
asking, right?
Yeah.
What do you
Are we as
kids nowadays can't even write in script. I mean,
Right,
cursive.
that's
They can't write in
that's-
cursive.
are we going to be able to compete against international students in the United States? Absolutely not. We are behind.
Not, yes, we will, but not at our highest level. We will. At our highest level, we absolutely will be able to compete.
I push back on that because there's certain things that West Indian students can compete against American students. Like they come with certain basic skills and certain focus that the Caribbean would have more on education than we do.
But in the Caribbean, though, Dr. Bryan,
Mhm.
I could speak for Jamaica, I could speak for Guyana, Trinidad, and a few others. That there is a culminating exam. that you actually have to perform well on.
Mhm.
In Jamaica, it's called what, the GXCs or something like that, right? Which is equivalent to the regions. And they look at, you have to have like, I don't remember, Andre, I don't know if you did any before you left Jamaica.
I remember doing the GSAT in 6th grade, and then the CXC I guess was in 9th, but I wasn't there around that time, so I don't know if they change it now. But yeah,
And you had to perform like 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if you're able to perform at this level, it shows your heightened level of competence and they'll publish it in the newspaper. As a matter of fact, if you got who got a 1, who got a 2,
Oh wow.
on the national scope, so everybody was seeing Roderick Daly got a 1 in Spanish, a 1 in health, and a 1 in these different things. But at the higher level, the problem when you water down education, I don't think that you challenge enough
Agree
students,
with you.
right? So that our students who perform well will do well.
Right.
Once you're performing at the high, that's why I said, what does the transcript look like for these potential graduating students? Dr. Frey was saying that the GSAT system and the GXC system comes from the British system. Most kids come across in New York can't read or write. I don't think I'm that pessimistic, right? I don't think I'm that pessimistic that they can't read or write. I think there are a number of students who are challenged with reading and writing. What I will say, for kudos to New York City and New York State public system, is providing special education for a lot of the kids that need it and hold schools accountable if they're not providing those services, including suing the school, including voucher to find a school that will provide those services for you, right? So let's find out. Let's see what some of these comments are. Dr. Frey said, what's
The exam, I'm Jamaica's.
explaining the Jamaican education system.
Okay.
What's the next comment from Dr. Frey? So one under that.
Then
Campertown, which is a school in Jamaica that's very recognized in Jamaica. Actually, it's a very good school. Karen said, I agree with Mr. Gente. Education institute should go back to learning the phonics, right? The phonetics, right? The question is where in the curriculum that would be, right? I think penmanship should be taught in school, right? It's not taught anymore. It's holistic learning.
they are starting to go back to that. A lot of people are looking. I think during the pandemic, it was like an eye opener for a lot of parents who had to be at home with their kids. They're like, what is happening? So they really got a real taste of what's happening in the school in regards to some of the struggles that the teachers had to deal with, or some of the struggles that their students had. They realized that some kids, depending on what curriculum was being used, couldn't read. Some kids couldn't write. And that's the truth. And it was like the conversation about the science of reading was happening way before this year. It was happening way before the pandemic. So it was ongoing, because we actually were discussing this in 2017, 2018, and trying to just educate leaders and teachers about this. But a lot of people were stuck with curriculum. Hey, I've been using this curriculum for so many years and it worked for my student. How do you know? What is the proof? Oh yeah, it worked. It worked. No, it didn't work. But because it's of comfort, we continue to do the same thing and kids were failing. Unfortunately, when it became an uproar, that's when people realized,
Yes.
oh my goodness.
So sorry to jump in. So I want to, I guess, comment on this one. The process elimination increases the likelihood of you being correct, but it doesn't necessarily mean you know the material. I have that kind of, what do you call it? I guess feel towards multiple choice too, in a sense, wherein I think even part of critical thinking is you have to write and write and consolidating thought, put your thoughts on paper. Now, I'm not 100% against multiple choice, but for the most, I think multiple choice already gives you those answers, so you're not necessarily coming up with your own response per se, and kind of like try to see if what you come up with may be right by referring back to a text or the material itself. So you know, I kind of feel that way regarding multiple choice, as Stickle Jones says. But a question I wanted to even ask too is
Mhm.
the conversation around signs of reading and
Let me go back to your comment and Stickle Drone's comment
all right,
a little bit. I
Yeah.
think that with exams, you have to have a combination
Mm-hmm.
of critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple choice gives you some level of critical thinking.
Yeah, and that's why I say I'm not 100%
Right.
disagree with it. You know.
So you have to have a thought process,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's also the fastest test to grade,
Mhm.
right? Right, it's the most thought provoking test for a teacher, right?
Mhm.
Because it takes the longest time for a teacher to do a multiple choice exam, believe it or not, because you have to think about incorrect and correct, and you have to make it. If you do it properly, you make it in such a way that there's a close answer that the child has to think about and why that answer is wrong and this one is right.
Mhm.
A short answer test allows you to elaborate on thought,
Mm-hmm.
right? It allows you to elaborate on the thought. As it gives you more of an explanation why. Whereas a paragraph or an essay, one that's designed to increase your vocabulary, right? Because you're supposed to know vocabulary, know punctuation, know sentence structure, paragraph setting, and the likes, right? So it improved on a different part of learning. So each component, right? An essay is the hardest test to grade.
Mhm.
Right. It is the hardest test to grade, but is the easiest to produce.
So I wanna even highlight on that too, especially because we're in such a technological age, and even with some of the comments and the critical thing, the writing needs to really be more at the forefront. And I agree to also, in the sense that multiple choice, easy to grade, with all that teachers have to do, in a sense, it has become so easy to really get these multiple choice. We know there's just that single answer right there, boom, right, easy to grade. But if we leverage even some of the advancements in tech right now, and we have rubrics, very clear cut rubrics of what to
By
expect.
the way, what's a rubric? What's a rubric?
Rubric is criteria that is utilized in grading a student work. So you might have different criteria. What are you looking for in a particular writing task, and you use that itself to grade a student. Wait, are you playing with me, Roger? Are you asking
I
that?
wanted to explain.
No, to explain.
Oh, because the way. So yeah, the criterion, in a sense. So my thing is that we have what AI, artificial intelligence, right now, and we also know that every student will be responding a different way. So in a sense, it's as if we have to put certain responses in the computer and say, these are the criteria that we have, and we want the AI itself to really grade based on those criteria. Now, granted, we still would have to check, but I do think that utilizing that may be a way, even going forward, for teachers to even have more time to utilize more writing, that rather than just multiple choice for the most part.
So
last year,
let me just say this comment real fast. And I'm listening to Dr. Frey, who's a college professor. She teaches business at one of our more prestigious university here in New York, university, not college.
Professors
right?
always give essays,
Right.
multiple choice.
Yeah. And I also go back to Stickle Drone's comment as well.
Yes, Dr. Ingrid, man,
Right.
we gotta leverage it. We gotta leverage it, man. It's
My point is this, right? Biblically speaking, did Jesus Christ die on the cross?
Biblically speaking,
Yes. Biblically speaking,
like
did Jesus Christ die on the cross?
like literally, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. That's it. That's a multiple choice. Now that you know that fact, tell me why.
Okay.
Right.
So I guess in a sense, really, regarding that multiple choice, it's just literal response. But when it comes to the how and why,
right. You have to have the historical facts that people need to know. How many states are in the United States? There are 50. You know how many people think there are 51 states in the United States?
Okay.
Because they think Puerto Rico is a state.
All right. So
Right.
closing the questions.
And sometimes they don't even know that Hawaii is a state nor Alaska, which are the only two states in America that's not on the continental United States. Right? You understand what's the difference between a territory and an annex? Right? That's a critical thinking. So there are things that are factual, right? Why is Puerto Rico, why are Puerto Ricans citizens of the United States, right? Whereas, I mean, there are other territories that are not citizens of the United States. Because now that helps you develop more, right? Like I said, when you're doing something, like some things are just literal, while other things are abstract. When you are teaching something that's abstract, you're looking for identifiable points. Did this person develop the idea well? Can I follow their train of thoughts? Right? You get what I'm saying? So that becomes important. So going back to the start of the conversation, right, is what did Karen Greenwood write? She wrote something, bring back critical thinking. Critical thinking is part of learning. Any teacher should have critical thinking in their lesson. If you don't have it, then I'm sorry, but you're not a good teacher. I hate to say that loud. If you just question, answer yes, no, and wrote education, then you're a terrible teacher. I don't care who I offend, right? The questions of why need to exist. So the question becomes, if you remove regions, how do you know that your students are learning and learning well? That's where the question, not that regions tells you that, but what is the replacement that New York State is going to do?
I think they're still working on that. And yeah, I think they're still working on that, and they're looking at possibly portfolios and different criterias for graduation. So we shall see.
Right. And that's very important, right? Our New York City kids are deficient.
Yeah. Right? As I thought about what you said, I think it was last year and the year before, a lot of the CUNY schools, students who graduated had to take remedial classes. That was some of the report, because they were coming in with deficiencies.
Right. And I don't know that watering down because at the end of the day, if I am competing against a Harvard grad or a Jamaican grad or a Guyanese grad or a Haitian grad
or
African grad, I can't compete. So how do I make my students compete? I can't keep watering down. If that's what that's what the plans are, right? They moved from RCT because they realized that students with RCTs were not performing well to regions, right? Back in the late 90s, right? About 97, 98, students had to start taking regions. And when 55 was the initial grade, and then after 55, then they moved to 65, and then they moved to the number of regions that you had to pass in the early 2000s. And now we're looking at you're looking at what an advanced Regents diploma looks like and how many regents you need to have.
Mm-hmm.
So study to show thyself approved, right? And so we have to know, what does that look like, right?
Yeah, they get back.
Is Rudy ready for us to come back, or?
Thumbs up, Rudy, if you're ready.
Can he hear us?
Thumbs up if you're
Okay. All right, so let's bring it back on.
Oh, beautiful. I don't know these computer things. Anyway, let's go.
Quick question, Rudy. So when I put in, you clicked on the browser thing when I put it in there?
I clicked my computer. I have a what is it? Apple.
Okay.
And it said I had to hit command first.
Well, that's cool.
Right.
I'm glad you figure it. I was happy. I was like, yeah, man, this was quick.
No,
But
my
I guess,
daughter had to come and figure it out for me. I had to scream at her to come upstairs.
That's good. So
And then make a
we're
class.
running out a little bit of
That's good.
time.
Yes.
And I know we had some difficulties. So tell us, this month is Guyana. We have Guyana celebration of Guyana's independence. You're of Guyanese descent. You tell us a little bit about the Guyanese independence, Juneteenth. What does that mean for you?
Okay.
And then we're going to start talking about what you plan to do on Juneteenth.
Okay.
So let's talk about Guyana Day and Guyana independence. What does that look like? And for our Caribbean culture, for those of us who are jealous and find out what it is that we are not doing for our Caribbean heritage as well. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know much I'm doing in the sense that I've been getting funds from the City Council for an immigrant initiative. And I was using that to celebrate Guyana and another country for the past like 5 years. I would do Guyana and Trinidad, Guyana and Jamaica, Guyana and South Africa, etc. Because I found that the Guyanese were always not that receptive. So I decided this year, which is the first time since it's a holiday, to do not just Guyana, but about 5 other countries in terms of cultural presentations.
What
So
are
we're
those
having the
countries?
national anthems and so on from the different countries.
What countries are you looking at?
Haiti, Jamaica. It's on the flyer I sent you. Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Bahamas. Those are the ones. Nigeria. Yeah. And we're going to do songs and poems from all those countries with some steel band and some skits, and that's it. It's a morning of entertainment. We're doing it in the morning because there are lots of things in the afternoon. Also,
When are you doing it? Juneteenth?
Juneteenth, the 19th at 10:30 a.m.
Where?
on Farmers Boulevard. It's a new space. It's called the Edward Davis Center.
Andre, do you have the flyer?
Yeah, it houses a senior center. I sent it to you though, but
Did you? I know I had asked you to send it electronically. Did you send it?
I did. I thought you got it. That's why.
Okay, so just send it back to that email so Andre can have it by the end of the show.
Oh, okay. You asked me to do wonders with these computer things. I'm not that. She's gone. I know. I thought you got it because I sent it.
No, you sent it to me as a picture.
It's okay. We'll deal with it and post on our page. So yeah.
Okay, I will have to go to the email for the person who sent it to me because I do have staff who work and do things, and they send it to me. So I'll have to go to that email and send it to you.
All right. No, I what happened is I would have liked to have posted it while you were speaking.
I know.
That's okay. That's okay. We could talk about it. So
Yeah,
it's
let's talk
time
about
it
it.
start. It
Time
starts
is-
at 10:30.
It's at 10:30. The address is 118-35
I'm gonna type it on.
Farmers Boulevard. It's 2 blocks off Linden Boulevard.
118-35 Farmers
35.
Boulevard.
And there's a big sign saying Edward Davis Center. It's the affordable housing building that's been built on a very controversial note. But there was a lot of controversy about building it. Eventually got built to 160 something units. There were over 10,000 applicants for those units.
Wow.
So it was needed. And downstairs, we built, and I kind of contributed to that in terms of advice. We built a community center hall,
Very
which
nice.
we're now doing theaters. We're like the resident company there. We do pay rent. So it's not free, but we have been doing a lot of plays. We did the first play was Sylvie Banks's Death for Black History Month, and then we did a Guyanese play called Sauda about teenage pregnancy, and now we're doing this show for Juneteenth celebration of Guyana, Jamaica, whatever. I just feel we need to be more together and
more inclusive, more collaborative as a group of individuals who went through the same type of trials and tribulation.
Exactly. So we include the Black African Americans. We'll be doing African American stuff also. So it's an inclusive day of celebration to have fun, and there's food afterwards.
That's always good. That's always good. That brings people out.
I'm sorry. I need to know. I heard food, and like Dr. I didn't hear anything else. I'm joking, but I just want to say I didn't hear anything else. So are we gonna have ethnic foods there?
No. Okay. The senior center does cater to seniors, and they do have food because the show ends at 12, and they do have food, and I've experienced this myself. I think you have to pay like $1.50 or something like that to get the food. It's worth the price, and there is food. You know what I'm saying? And then there's drink. So I don't feel in any way, I'm misconstruing things. Anybody could get, from what I've experienced in the past, anybody could have access to the food because they do cook a lot. When we do plays, like when we did Sylvie Banks's Dead, I had a wine and cheese night, which I catered.
Oh.
And that's different. Yes, that was my gift to the audience for coming. And the shows are free. The audience paid just a contribution. So if you can't afford, you could still come in. There's no excuse for not coming to the shows.
Nice.
It can be free.
Right. So Rudy has kind of threatened me.
Okay.
He told me that I'm going to do my utmost best to show up on Wednesday.
That would be nice.
I know Tuesday is going to be a long night, so I'm going to, have some things that I have to do. So we'll see what's going to happen there. But I'm looking forward to spending some time. What's the name of the play?
It's not a play. It's a celebration. It's Juneteenth celebration.
Okay.
And I just mentioned last year we did it in collaboration with the Marcus Garvey people, the Negro, you know what it is, the correct name. And we did it on June 10th. And we did pieces from Garvey's speeches, and we did pieces from the Biko Rising. And that was done at Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning. And that was filled to capacity.
All right.
But now we have this.
Is there an email, Rudy, that we can
send to query? Yeah, the same is shawcartgt@gmail.com.
Yeah.
SHAWCART, G's in George, T's in town, @gmail.com.
So the GT banner.
GT banner, exactly. To the bone.
Looking forward. Hopefully, it's a holiday, and definitely we're going to do our best.
And the seniors come. The problem this year is that some of the senior centers will be closed, and so we don't anticipate the big crowd we've had for the other two shows. And I tell you, the other two shows, they had to look for chairs. They were almost literally going to neighbors and asking for chairs to bring.
Oh, that's nice.
Because the buses kept showing up with folk. And one woman came and bragged me. I came all the way from Brooklyn to see the show, and I'm very pleased. I said, thank you.
That's true. If we come from Brooklyn, we want to see.
Exactly. And we want to be well entertained. Okay. And so we educate and entertain. We do it. And it's strange because when we did Sylvie Banks's Death, a lot of people still do not know what apartheid means, what it means to live through apartheid.
Yeah, that's true.
Why I do Sylvie Banks's Death. Okay.
And that's why using entertainment, but using a form of art to educate is very powerful. People will remember that.
Very, very.
You know,
they might not pick up a book, but they'll remember something that they see or experience or feel.
visual. Yes, exactly. So you have other questions to me? I don't want to talk.
No. We you know, it's just talking about, you know, the culture. Let's talk about the cultural component. There's something that you did in your back. I don't know if you want to talk about that, what you used to do that got you involved, knowing, like, you know, even though you're Guyanese, you began to know a lot about different cultures because of a job that I believe you retired from it recently. Am I correct?
You call it retired. I don't like that word, but anyway, my sister uses it a lot. Tells the whole world he's retired. You know, yes. Yeah, I used to work for the United Nations. I had a very good job there, and besides working with them, I also acted at the United Nations. We had a theater group, and I got the chance to act with Richard Burton's daughter, Kate Burton, and Amanda Plummer. And we did some powerful plays there. But I got to sing as a member of the United Nations Singers. So I went to different countries singing songs in the original languages. So I sing in about 16 languages. And that opened my eyes a lot because I got to go all over Europe and Japan and so on. And then with my work as a conference officer, I went to different countries running meetings for the UN, including Jamaica. I would go to Jamaica every year for the Law of the Sea. And they, you know, they called me the coconut head, so they sent me.
Don't worry, I have a coconut head too. Don't worry.
You don't want to go. Send the coconut head to Jamaica. I said, thank you. And but that's how I got to work in South Africa. How I got to work. You know, I've been to Angola as a peacekeeper. I you know, all over Qatar, Doha, you know, and places that I fell in love with and with the people, and meeting our Black people around the world and seeing the various colonial influences and our background ancestral influences, and it makes me love us so much more.
Even more. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
When I go to South Africa, my blood pressure goes way down.
Yeah, I've never been to South Africa because I'm very jealous about that.
Okay.
Rudy, I want to thank you.
In November, just so you know, if you do.
I've been to Aruba. I love Aruba, and they love me. My wife got jealous because some people in the staff from I'm an actor, and they wanted to take pictures with me as I was leaving. He said, "Okay, go. They're your fans." But yeah, I know all over the Caribbean I've been. I've been in Trinidad. We've done shows. Even in Anguilla, we did Since We've She's Dead. And I was planning shows in St. Martin. Anywhere I'll go anywhere where we could do the shows once we get the funding.
So absolutely. But it is great to have you on, and we want people to actually go out on Juneteenth Day to celebrate a collaboration of different wonderful countries coming together to celebrate our greatness and to see that we have more in common than differences. So come on out, Juneteenth, 118-35 Farmers Boulevard. And if you would like to find out a little bit more, Shore Cart GT.
Yes, Shore Cart GT.
Yes, at gmail.com. Love.
And I just want to say that I'll be there. So, ladies and gentlemen, do come out if you can. Say hello and enjoy all my GT banners and binnies.
Hey.
Please come out and support.
GT, Jamaican, you know. They even got the Grenadian flag, although we're not doing any Grenadian songs. But I know it's the Grenadian flag. It's okay. It's all good. We're all one, and I'm super for United Africa.
That is true. So we thank you for being on the show. We thank you for coming back on, even with technical difficulties. Thank you for sharing how much that the arts can impact so many individuals, educate people, but unite us even better. So thank you for all that you do. and continue to do for our community. And
Thank
it's great
you.
having you. Oh,
Yeah, I hope we get the South Africans to come next year because it is a powerful show, the Biko Rising. But the way it's almost like Hamilton when we do it in South Africa, and the interaction. But it's to get them to come. That's these obstacles that are there with visas and so on. But
maybe something that once worked on, we'll know what's going to happen. And again, Mr. Shaw, actor Rudy Shaw,
thank you.
of our Guyanese descent, as we celebrate Caribbean History Month and Juneteenth at the same time. So looking forward to see you next Wednesday out there in Queens, and see what's going to happen. Maybe one of these, either our producer, executive producer, or otherwise, might be able to come out if they don't have previous plans for that date. I know.
Let me tell you, you need to create a movie and a show, a play just for Roger, because he's always acting. He loved the camera. So I'm telling you.
Well, I tried, but we'll try some more. Time in the past. He came to one meeting and then he said he's very busy. He got stage fright.
So maybe now I might be inclined to participate.
Yes.
Again, thank you, Mr. Shaw. I will continue dialoguing about what is going on with Juneteenth. And thank you for joining us on the Village Radio Talk Show.
Beautiful. So I'll leave the studio.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Okay,
Thank you.
Good. Bye-bye.
Yeah, he did try. I will admittedly say he did try to.
And you said no. I can't believe it, ladies and
gentlemen. It's not that I said no. It was. This is a long time ago. There's so many things I was working on. At that time, I was running for city council. I was running for different things, and it was just too much.
Wow. Might be the time to get your.
I want to talk about a topic. Hunter Biden was found guilty in Delaware. And so to all of and he could spend a lot of time in jail, even though he's a first-time offender, right? Just like Donald Trump. Donald
Trump is not going to spend no time.
Well, I'm just saying could. I didn't say he will. I said could. Right? Donald Trump, people complained about the fact that he didn't get a fair shake in New York City. Who got a fair shake than Hunter Biden in Delaware? His father is president. His father represented Delaware from 1972 until he became vice president in 2008. Right? I don't know how many years that is. That sounds like 46 years to me. Right? Right? And I'm not doing math off the top of I'm just doing it off the top of my head. Right? He's one of the only president from the state of Delaware. He went to school in Delaware, right? And all the odds were stacked against their prosecution, according to Donald Trump, because he didn't get a fair shake in New York. So the question is, what would be a Republican comeback to that? Why are you silent?
You said, they love it because, hey, he got convicted. What's good for the geese is good for that's how they're looking at it. Okay, great. You want to hit Donald Trump?
You guys.
You're gonna, hey.
Johnny can hear? I thought you just said you can't hear.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear us?
I don't. There's a second person who said that. Maybe there's something up with the link. I'm not sure where Andre went. Andre, if you can just look into that.
Yeah, I think they're happy with him being convicted. I think they're very excited about that.
So my issue is, does that now make you say that the judicial system was fair? Or do you continue to say that the judicial system?
They feel it was fair, 100%. Oh no,
no, against Donald Trump, not Hunter Biden, but Donald Trump.
Oh, they're gonna say it's not fair. A president.
And that's the problem, right? And that's the problem with our system, right?
Mhm.
You're blinded. If the thing is not in your favor, you're going to say it was unfair. But if it's in your favor, it was fair. So which one is it?
When it's like you said, when it's working towards you, it's fair. When it's not fair. If anything attacks me, it's not fair. If
Exactly.
anything questions what it is I do, it's not fair.
You know, and people have to begin the process of answering to that, right? And it's 100% not about fairness, right?
Mhm.
It's about reality, right?
That is true.
You know, you know, the only difference is I find that the judicial system can be fair and unfair at the same time. I think that my biggest thing with the judicial system is representation. Not that the crime is not done, but representation.
Oh, just before we came on, they said that what's his name? Oh my god, what is the Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas
Thomas.
was accused of having 3 to 4 multiple more trips that he
Yes.
should have.
Over $1 million.
Yes, that he never actually stated on, he has to state. But because the law changed last year, he has to report these things and he hasn't.
Yes.
I
And
want
that's true. Let's go back to Stickle Drones' comment for a minute.
what is that?
Stickle Drones said, what does the comment say? Republicans would have been happy if Hunter Biden it would have validated their claim of unfairness. But one of the things that I point out is political parties are biased. And they're biased, like you said, you didn't use these words, but paraphrasing you, they're biased to their own agenda. Right? The Democrat is going to state, look how fair it is. Donald Trump was convicted and Hunter Biden was convicted. Right? The Republicans are going to say the charges against the Republican were trumped up, but the charges against Hunter Biden were real. Right? Why wasn't it trumped up by the Republican Party to ensure that happens?
Because they believe that he's like a king. He shouldn't be accused of anything. He shouldn't, he has, authority as a president. Nothing should go. That's their justification, 100%. That, hey, it's not working.
Right. And that's a fact, right? So
But guess what?
Breaking news.
Clinton did wrong, but he got charged. What's breaking news? Read it.
Breaking news. Let me read it out. Clarence Thomas' son breaks silence from jail.
Yeah, that was a couple of days ago.
Right. Right. Speaking out from jail about his relationship with his father.
Yeah, that was from a couple of days ago. I don't think it was very.
And his father has. Mark Martin has said that he doesn't want to have anything to do with him. Right.
Wonder why. I wonder why. But a lot is going on. Clarence Thomas is interesting.
Yeah, he's the most. I think right now he's the most controversial Supreme Court.
No, Alito is also controversial as well.
Not like Clarence Thomas.
They have a recording of Alito and his wife and conversations that they were having as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With showing their biases, right?
So our Supreme Court justice, I don't know. It's a little nerve-wracking.
They have a significant amount of bias.
Of course. And you get what you get. For example, when they reversed the abortion law, Supreme Court, which we were surprised, they decided to preserve the abortion pill.
All right.
Today. That was breaking news.
I want to talk about something in Rudy's Corner. Before we go, we have a few minutes.
Okay.
I'm concerned about housing in America,
Oh, please. That's an understatement.
right?
That's an understatement.
I'm concerned that many of our families can't afford to live,
Mm-hmm.
while banks and bankers and mortgagers,
Mm-hmm.
for lack of a better word, are reaping tremendous profit in America.
Mm-hmm.
Our government, many of them are funded by developers,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in developers' pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And that can't happen. We have to make America, in my purview, the place that we envision it to be. A place where we can raise our children, provide a home that's affordable,
Mm.
provide food that's affordable for our children. COVID saw a spike in the cost of food, rent,
Mm-hmm.
because of certain issues that has happened. America has left COVID more than 2 years. Yet still none of these things have gone down.
4 years. Mm-hmm.
No, COVID was 4 years ago, but gone out of the crisis of COVID over 2 years.
Mm.
But yet still we are in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
Why is milk so high? Why is gas so high? Why are eggs so high? Why is living in America so high?
Why is living in New York so high?
It's not just New York anymore.
I know. Florida actually is more expensive now
Yep.
than New York.
Right? Carolina, my friends and family in Carolina, Georgia are complaining. So in Roderick's Corner today, I want to talk to our government. It's not about politics. It's about the people that you represent.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's about politics, pick the side of the people, not the side of the big businesses like Donald Trump is doing with 80 million, where he met with 80 CEOs, or Kathy Hochul, who sided with the rich people in Manhattan to want to do congestion pricing.
And now, guess what? She's going to get sued, and they're still going to push back on it.
Exactly.
And she could have said something way before the vote. So why wait at the last minute? We were saying no, 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 no. It went on deaf ears. So now, a couple weeks before everything goes into play, you're like, okay, stop. Or I realize, what happened in December? What happened in November?
Well,
What
the whole
happened?
conversation that we're being had, and all of a sudden you have
happened?
conscience, right?
Yeah. So now here it is. You passed it. And everyone was like, hey, you let MTA do whatever. Put up these things. Oh, now $1 billion is down the tube. And they want to continue. I couldn't believe that Brad Lander is saying, hey, we're going to take her to court. What about people who can't afford it? So we create a New York for the haves and have not, and you're gonna have more have nots leave New York. So they created that, and unfortunately, we're fighting. Nobody's really on the side of the people who are struggling.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly. And so people that's just Rudy's Corner. And thank you, Dr. Brian, for adding your conversation around it. It's not about politics. It's not about party. It's about our people that we want to represent. With that being said, I want to make sure I then say happy birthday again to my niece Chevanice, to my son King Grayson on their birthday. Happy birthday to you, Dr. Brian, on your birthday on Saturday, to John Sampson on his birthday Monday, and again to David Sampras, Michael, on Wednesday. Hope to see a lot of you on next Wednesday at the event out there in Queens. And all my June birthdays, all the people who had birthdays at the beginning of June, Just want to tell you happy birthday just in case I missed it. Happy birthday to each and every one of you. And happy Father's Day.
Yes, happy
fathers out
Father's Day to all the wonderful fathers out there. We need you, we appreciate you, and we value you. So, just to say, you matter, you're important, and you are the backbone of the family. Come on now. Happy Father's Day to you, Roderick and John Sampson, and our wonderful listeners who are papas. Thank you for being present. Thank you for being in our life. And thank you for leading our young folks. It is important. You matter. We celebrate you, and God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching, viewing, sharing, participating on The Village. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button on our station. And again, happy Father's Day to each and every one of you. Thank you. We're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, at any point, starting from today. Where success is not just spoken, it is done. Last advice before I go, a good Father's Day gift, buy him a stock. Invest in a stock for your daddy, right? Have your mama help you to buy a stock for your daddy. There are a lot of companies that have been doing well. NVIDIA just did a 10-to-1 split. And other companies that are out there that are doing this split. Do your research. And I thank you. God bless you. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye. See you next week.